Hi everyone, my name is Michael and we're going to be looking at problem 8 from the target round of elementary test 12523 from December 2024. So we have a fair coin is flipped 5 times. What is the probability that the greatest number of consecutive heads flipped is exactly 3? Express your answer as a common fraction. So consecutive heads just means heads in a row. So we're looking for the probability that the number of heads in a row flipped is the greatest number of heads in a row flipped is exactly 3. So we have 3 possibilities, right? Since there are 5 coin flips, right, we can either have the first 3 be heads, right? We can have the middle 3 be heads, or we can have the last 3 be heads. Now, since we have a fair coin and 5 flips, that means the total number of possibilities 2 to the 5th, which is 32. Now, we need to figure out how many of those have exactly 3 heads in a row flipped, but not 4 or 5. So let's take a look at this, right? If we need exactly 3 heads in a row flipped, that means we can't have 4 heads. So that means in our first case, this 4th flip has to be a tails. In our second case, that means both end flips have to be tails. Otherwise, we have 4 or 5 heads in a row. And then finally, in this last case, we have the second flip has to be tails because otherwise we'll have 4 flips in a row. Now, that gives us these situations, but what about these two? Right? What about the last flip or the first flip in the first and last scenarios, respectively? Well, they can be anything because they don't affect the greatest number, right, of consecutive heads flipped in that sequence. So that means that this can be heads or tails. So therefore, this first scenario gives us 2 possibilities. The second scenario, since every single flip result is set, there's only 1 possibility. And this third scenario is actually symmetric to our first one, so we also have 2 possibilities. So therefore, that gives us 2 plus 1 plus 2, or 5 possibilities out of a total of 32. So that means the desired probability is 5 over 32, since that cannot be simplified.
Hey, this is Tim. Hope you're enjoying our videos. If so, you know what to do: like, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that sort of thing. But what I'd really want to invite you to do is to send us an email at media@mathleague.org. Tell us which problems you'd like to see us cover next in our video series. Take care and see you in the next video.